On December 7, 1941, America was not at war. But in just 2 hours, everything changed forever. This is the true story of the day the United States was dragged into World War II. Why does this matter? The surprise attack by Japan on the naval base at Pearl Harbor not only resulted in thousands of American casualties, but also shattered the nation's policy of isolationism overnight. The following day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt declared war on Japan, officially entering a conflict that would reshape the global order. Stay tuned, because the echoes of that infamous day still influence American foreign policy and military strategy more than you think. The debate over America's role in World War II is back in the spotlight. Before 1941, the U.S. was firmly against joining another European conflict. The sentiment after World War I was clear. Never again. Why does this matter? President Franklin D. Roosevelt had promised to keep American boys out of foreign wars, focusing instead on domestic recovery and strict neutrality. But across the Pacific, a rising imperial Japan was watching America's every move, with ambitions that would soon challenge this isolationist stance. Stay tuned, because the events unfolding in the Pacific were about to change the course of American history forever. The road to Pearl Harbor is back in the spotlight. By the late 1930s, Japan was aggressively expanding across Asia, invading China and seizing resource-rich islands. But there was a catch. Japan depended on the United States for over 80% of its oil. When America witnessed Japan's aggression, it hit back with economic sanctions, targeting essential materials like steel and fuel. Then came the final blow. In July 1941, the U.S. completely cut off Japan's oil supply. Why does this matter? For Japan's military, it was a death sentence, leaving them with just two choices: retreat and surrender their new empire, or launch a desperate all-or-nothing strike to secure resources and neutralize their biggest obstacle. Stay tuned, because this decision would change the course of world history forever. The attack on Pearl Harbor is back in the spotlight. It was a quiet Sunday morning in Hawaii, December 7th, 1941. American sailors were off-duty, relaxing, and believing they were safe. Suddenly, at 7:48 a.m., the sky filled with hundreds of Japanese aircraft. Bombs rained down, battleships exploded, and chaos erupted as planes burned on the ground. The USS Arizona was destroyed in a massive explosion, trapping over 1,000 men inside. Why does this matter? This surprise attack propelled the United States into World War II, fundamentally changing the course of history and global power dynamics. By the end of the raid, 2,403 Americans were dead and 1,178 were wounded. Stay tuned, because what happened on that day of infamy continues to shape the world we live in. The attack on Pearl Harbor is sending shockwaves across the globe. Just a day after the assault, President Roosevelt addressed a grieving nation. His response? A declaration that December 7th will be a date which will live in infamy. Why does this matter? The era of American isolationism is officially over. Congress has voted almost unanimously to declare war on Japan, forever changing the course of the conflict. With Germany and Italy now declaring war on the U.S. just 3 days later, this global chess game has reached a critical turning point. Stay tuned, because what's happening across the Pacific is about to reshape the world as we know it. The attack on Pearl Harbor is back in the spotlight. Just this week, we're reminded of how that single day reshaped the United States. The nation's response? A total transformation of its economy and society. Why does this matter? Factories pivoted from consumer goods to weapons, creating the arsenal of democracy. Millions of men enlisted, while women flooded the workforce in unprecedented numbers, forever changing the social fabric. With the world plunged into war and America reeling from the attack, this mobilization set the stage for its emergence as a global superpower. Stay tuned, because what Japan intended as a crippling blow ultimately unleashed America's full might. The U.S.-China trade war is back in the spotlight. Just this week, the U.S. imposed new tariffs on $18 billion worth of Chinese imports, from electric vehicles to semiconductors. China's response? Promising resolute countermeasures while urging for de-escalation. Why does this matter? These moves could ripple through global supply chains, tech markets, and even your wallet. With elections looming in the US and China pushing to boost its economy, this trade chess game is only getting more intense. Stay tuned, because what's happening across the Pacific could hit closer to home than you think. The story of World War II is back in the spotlight. Just this month, newly declassified documents have shed light on the secret operations of the OSS, America's wartime intelligence agency. The response from historians? A rush to re-examine key battles and espionage missions. Why does this matter? These revelations could reshape our understanding of Allied strategy, covert warfare, and the sacrifices made by countless unsung heroes. With a new generation seeking to understand the past, this historical deep dive is only getting more intense. Stay tuned, because what happened in the shadows of the past explains so much about who we are today. History matters. If you want more true World War II stories told from the American perspective, subscribe to the channel.